Welcome back. From gun legislation in South Carolina to fallout of a local event here in town, we're recapping some of our biggest stories of the week. Charlie James from 1250 WTMA joins us once again.
Yes.
Okay, so last week we actually did talk a little bit about the gas tax.
Right.
So
right.
let's go more into it because Henry McMaster, our governor, did talk more about it. And
he did talk more about it. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think Governor Henry McMaster is against this gas tax. He doesn't, from what he has said, he doesn't really see this as a priority for us fixing our roads here in South Carolina. Again, he's got an election coming up in a little while, so he's got to be really concerned about that. Right now, everything we're seeing from the governor's office is that he is not for the gas tax. It is not going to pass. He's counting on, I think, this money from President Trump in Washington, D.C. to use it to solve a majority of our road ills. One of the things that he is concerned about, and we should all be concerned about as taxpayers, is if we do pass this gas tax, is that money going to be earmarked for our roads and infrastructure? Because unless there are protections with that, unless there are guarantees that our roads are actually going to be fixed with the money that we're paying, then I think we really ought to take a second look at this gas tax. I don't know if it'll be, I'm kind of on the side with Henry McMaster. If there's no guarantee that it's going to go towards roads, we really ought to think twice before we pass this bill.
It's like reading into the fine print.
Right. It's what's not there. They say the devil's in the details. What's not there is really important.
Right.
So.
Another big topic was Folly Gras.
Yes. Folly Gras. They had a mess last week with Folly Gras. I think 10,000 cars went on to Folly Beach. And I mean, 10,000 cars, you got to figure several people per car. Yeah. We're talking about a huge crowd. Trash was everywhere. There were multiple arrests. The folks that live on Folly Beach, I don't think they want the reputation that Folly is starting to get to be party central of the Low Country. So they've got some very big concerns. Now they've even moved the Sand and Sea Festival, which was supposed to be coming up. They're moving that later into the year to make sure they can kind of get a grip on this, make sure they've got enough security in place, enough, take enough measures, put enough measures in place to where we don't have enough, another Folly Gras, because that was a debacle.
No, it was, and I don't think people realized that this year was going to be so different than last year, but that's sometimes what happens. It's a catalyst into something more.
And the weather was absolutely perfect. Everybody said, let's go out and let's party and get drunk and revel, I guess.
Well, and that they did.
That they did.
And a meeting was held after that.
That's
so
right.
Moving on now to gun legislation.
Yeah.
That's obviously always going to be a top talker in South Carolina.
Absolutely. Two pieces of gun legislation going on right now that's getting a lot of talk. Number one, extending what I hate for people to call the Charleston loophole. Charleston had nothing to do with this. Dylan Roof did not buy the gun in Charleston. It was the FBI not getting this background check back in time. It was a debacle. However, extending this, and it's not even a waiting period here in South Carolina, but extending the time to get this background check back from the FBI, I don't think it would really hurt. Now, I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I'm all for your right to own and carry a firearm. However, I think 5 days is not going to be too punitive on a lot of people looking to get a gun, waiting to get this background check back. Is any legislation going to be perfect as far as guns are concerned? Absolutely not. Now they're talking about, we just cleared a first hurdle for what's called constitutional carry here in South Carolina, meaning you do not need to have a concealed weapons permit. If you are a legal gun owner, then you can carry your gun either openly or concealed. Again, I'm a Second Amendment advocate, but I'm not sure that this is really, it's a slippery slope.
I think that's more how people are looking at it, is a slippery slope, because even if people are against it, 3 to 5 days doesn't seem like that big of a gap. Okay, you wait 2 days to get your gun. But that's the point I think a lot of people are seeing, is that, well, if we do go for this, it's a slippery slope. Yeah,
and if we allow constitutional carry, the responsibility of owning a firearm is so tremendous, and it is so great, and I don't think a lot of people that will be carrying firearms out there will fully understand the seriousness of any actions that might happen with that gun. So again, it's going to take a lot of debate. It's going to get a lot of talk. Of course, my phones always light up on WTMA when we talk about gun control legislation, but responsible gun ownership is the key to all of this, really.
And that talking point will always be on the table.
Yes,
Charlie, James, thank you so much for
you,
coming
Annie.
in. Appreciate it.